Hey, how are you? How are you? Welcome into Groomer's Take. Late to the show from the Saturday game, but Four Nations is awesome right now. It's shoveling season 2. I mean, damn, our neighbor plows for us, but there's still spots that we have to do in our side deck. I mean, damn. No gym today. Four Nations, Canada and the States on Saturday night. Just started off with a bang. The fights in the first three fights, in the first 9 seconds. When the first fight happened, I thought, oh damn, I stood up and I was like, second fight, you're like, holy cow, what's going on? You saw there was the two Kachuk brothers, so right away you thought, okay, like, obviously there was some chatting going on. And then the third fight, I think JT Miller just really wanted to get a piece of somebody. He's that kind of guy. Picked a tough one in Pareko, but what an absolute start. The game itself, I thought the States played pretty damn good defensive hockey. When you keep a team like Canada to the outside the way they did, it's going to be hard to score, especially on Hellebuck. I mean, I have a feeling right now that Canada could get Hellebucked in the final. He just looks very poised and calm. Of course, it was easy to do that in a game where the defense played so well, keeping Canada to the outside. But there's been 3 times in my life where I've looked at a goalie and I just thought, okay, the opposite team is not winning today because this goalie is just not going to let up a goal. One was Dominic Hasek. The other was Martin Brodeur. The third was Carey Price. And Connor Hellebuck is in that realm right now where I think something special is going to have to happen for him to let in 3 goals. It might take 3 goals to win this hockey game on Thursday, but that's where I look at the guy. I look at Connor McDavid to step up and say, I am the best player in the world, and here's why. But going back to the game Saturday, I thought it was fine. McDavid had that insane goal. People are talking about Binnington. Should he be the goalie moving forward? Obviously, since he started against Finland, you're not going to change your goalie now. Cooper said that he was going to roll with Binnington unless it was like an extremity, where he had to take him out. The first goal, I think it was the Gensel goal, right? The first goal on Saturday, that can't go in. We all know that can't go in. But then he makes up for it. He had a lot of really awesome saves, really good saves close in. I think he had another one on Gensel later on. The second goal, the Larkin goal, was just a really good shot, above the pad, below the blocker, a good shot. On that play, it was, Crosby could have maybe dumped that puck into the deep corner, and the winger that he was trying to get it to had enough speed where he would have got there first, and Canada would have had control of the play. Crosby tries to force a pass, got picked off, they went back 2-on-1, but, the best players in the world make mistakes sometimes too, and that's just the way it is. I don't even know what the hell I wrote down for the rest of that game. Not much more, actually. It was a good game. We'll stick with the States right now for a second because by winning that game, they were in the final. Charlie McAvoy came out today, the Bruins said, and he's in the hospital. Another page I looked at said that he had an infection in the upper body. So that's brutal. I mean, it could be like a cold infection. It could be anything, I guess. But I know the flu's going around. Four Nations right now. Finland had a bunch of guys out. Makar was out. And now this could be the kind of scenario with McAvoy. I don't know, but it could be even worse. But either way, you want the guy to get better. He's not going to play Thursday. Yada, yada, yada. Helps out Canada. I'd rather see the best on best, as we all would. And now the Quinn Hughes factor has come up, where he's been invited to, and apparently he was flying to Boston, but then not too long ago I saw that he was on the ice in Vancouver practicing with the Canucks. I also saw that if he was to be able to play, it'd have to be an injury, but it'd have to be an injury to a defenseman. I don't really understand that because they're kind of making up these rules as they go. Like we saw that with the Thomas Harley replacing Makar. So I don't know if he was going to play. I would assume. And how do you go to a player and say, "Hey, man, how you feeling? You sore?" Kind of weird. But if Hughes plays, obviously that's huge for the States for the final game. McAvoy, check. Binnington, talked enough about him. Talked about Hughes. The line changes for Canada going into the Finland game. I really liked them. Playing armchair GM, I wanted Point on the top line, but I thought it was maybe going to be Stoner that came out, Mark Stone, just to have a bit more of just full out speed. But it worked out. They did Point, McDavid, and Stone, but Stone is he is able to fit in. He's such a good hockey player. He can kind of change his game. Well, he doesn't have to change much because he's not fast enough to, but they all complement each other very well, and I like that line a lot. They got the buddies together with Crosby and McKinnon with the Reinhart line, and I thought Reinhart played, he was more noticeable for sure in that Finland game. It was probably the best game I've seen him play. Really liked the Marchand, Bennett, Konechny line. Didn't love Marchand's game in the first two games. But I thought that line was excellent. They were kind of mucking it up. And then lastly, we have the Tampa line, Hagel, Cirelli, and Marner. And, in one of my group chats, Marner's getting some heat just because he didn't play a lot. And when he did play, he got scored on. But, I watched that game, and I thought that line was really good. People are saying Marner doesn't step up in the important games when they matter. But, he's still a fantastic player. Would I want Jarvis in the lineup instead of Marner? Jarvis is good, but no, I wouldn't. Marner is still able to get some play going. Didn't play a lot. 12 minutes and 35 seconds was a -1. I don't know if you count as a minus when the other team pulls a goalie, but if that's the case, well, who cares about the minus? The Finland goals themselves, the first goal, the Lindell goal, you probably have to have that one too. Coming out of the corner, kind of a broken up play. The defenseman's way down there for some reason, and it goes under his blocker. Another blocker goal. But, you kind of have to have that one. The second goal, when the goalie was pulled, he didn't have a stick and went 5-piece. That's going to happen. Third goal was just a great shot by Granlund, top cheese past his ear. So I think we just need to calm down with all the Marner talk and the Binnington talk. Thought Marner was fine. That line was buzzing. And let's just remember, Canada is in the final, but who the hell knows what would have happened in that Sweden game. And Marner's the guy that scored the goal. So, let's just... Sweden played really well last night against the States too. I think it was their best game. This U.S. was sitting a lot of guys. Matthews was down. People are kind of shocked by that, but Matthews is definitely dealing with something. He's been dealing with something the whole season here. I don't think Leaf fans should be worried. I'm not worried. The game didn't mean anything, so sit some of these guys for sure. Kreider got in the lineup. He scored a goal. Yeah, I know. Good for him. Kachuk was out. I don't know if they have an update on Matthew. I think they said Brady's probably going to play, but it was just really good. And shout out to Finland too. No one was giving them that much, but hell, it was pretty good hockey. U.S. Sweden talked about it. USA injuries talked about it. But I'm just really fired up. Thursday night, don't really know why they're doing the 2 days in between. You got the momentum. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone talk about it today and let's get the puck dropped tomorrow kind of deal. But they're not going Thursday night. And then NHL starts again on Saturday. It'd be surprising to see what players maybe don't play Saturday night for their NHL teams. But it's hockey. Of course they're going to play. Can't wait. Okay, here we go. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I guess he set up a deadline for coming up with agreeing to a new contract. It was the first day of full practice for the boys down in Dunedin, and that deadline has approached. So now he's going to go through the whole season betting on himself, although all he has to do is have a mediocre season, and he's going to get a crap ton of money thrown at him because that's what we do in sport now. You barely have to earn those massive contracts, but he's going to get a massive contract. And what he said is, you had your chance, you had your opportunity, you still have an opportunity to sign me, but now you have 29 other teams who are also going to have that same chance. God, it's over. It's just over. The Jays weren't willing to pay him. They could be $100 million apart, and that's a lot of money. But if you were willing to give a crap ton of money to Soto and Ohtani, of course different players, but you have the money. You have so much money. Who else are you going to give the money to? Because players don't want to come to Toronto when they're in the middle of their prime. They come to Toronto, they take a crap ton of money, and when they're on the decline. Atkins, Shapiro, this is probably the end now. I thought it was the end already, but what are you going to say? We did a whole revamp of the stadium? What's the point of having an empty stadium? You're not going to be able to fill it because your team sucks. You got to give it to somebody. You're not going to give it to Bo Bichette. You better not give it to Bo Bichette. Vladdy, and I quote, "Were you ever close to an agreement?" No. No. Fuck, drives me crazy. I wasn't going to talk about LeBron James pulling out of the All-Star game, but I will, even though it's pointless. What a waste of breath. Guy pulls out of an All-Star game an hour and a half, 2 hours before it actually starts. It's just always about LeBron. Like, thank God I was young, but I still got to grow up with MJ, where it's like, here's a real role model and the best player in basketball. And now LeBron was the best player in basketball for so long. But don't you dare call him a role model. Not for me, anyways. And it shows. It really does. Okay, we're going to get out of here on a happier note. Hall of Famer Wade Boggs is cancer-free. Saw that on the Instagram. A lot of these things I put on my story, if you see them, and it's just great. Phenomenal player. Healthy, cancer-free, gotta end on a good note. Have a night. I won't talk to you before the Canada game. Maybe we'll throw something on the story. Enjoy the game. I'll see you in a few days. Grimmer's Take. See ya. Bye.